So when I played the first Last of Us in 2013, I thought that Naughty Dog could not do any better than this. The ending was a perfect cliffhanger with like no follow-up that was needed. Naughty Dog had some big shoes to fill after that game came out, and they've tried really hard with this new game to push the boundaries of what it means to be human in like this Walking Dead style post-apocalyptic world. Their biggest focus was the morals, beliefs, and brutalities of human culture, and they did deliver in some aspects of that, but failed in others. So starting from the beginning, I was really excited about how our well-known characters were reintroduced to new and old players. Naughty Dog really took their time with character development and settings instead of just throwing you straight into a firefight with like zombies or the human factions as tutorials, as most games do. Joel and Ellie themselves, they've grown a bit, and Ellie especially has evolved into a stronger person, and it really shows. Although Ellie is the main focus of the game, they introduce a few characters, including some playable ones, that add to the journey that Ellie has chosen. There's a snowball fight scene that was a particularly nice touch, not only in introducing Dina, but also to introduce the cover and throw mechanics. Taking a swim, walking, horseback riding, these are other ways that Naughty Dog have gone about introducing other characters as well, while giving you character development and still giving you game mechanic tutorials as well. It all felt completely natural. Even the little things like the guitar mini games allow character growth and understanding. That guitar, by the way, is one of the biggest symbols to Ellie throughout the course of the game, and they've done a really good job showing that. I really love the details when finding a workbench. It really shows character development. So for example, you can upgrade all your weapons and watch them attach each new upgrade, essentially making the weapon look different. Even your melee weapons, which break easily after a handful of uses, can be upgraded, and it could be changed to something more sturdy and deals more damage while also looking different as well. So I think immersion is one of the biggest important factors in a game like this. The detailed facial expressions and the environment, they really pop. They bring it all to life. They're really, really well done. Every stealth kill is really visceral and violent, and watching the struggle of your character and the enemies when you do a stealth takedown, it never really gets easy to watch. The detailed environments themselves can easily become your friend or enemy also. Items on shelves can fall off, break, or even make noise, giving away your position, or at least alerting them to your presence. Staying prone in tall grass is not always going to be safe as well. Just like in real life, they may see you a little bit and eventually alert others if they do see you completely. Great thing about the difficulty is that all of it's customizable. You can adjust how difficult you want each aspect of the game to be to experience the game how you would like. One of the biggest factors of the game that helped bring up the tension was the sound design. I highly recommend using headphones for this in order to immerse yourself a lot more, because each weapon makes loud and realistic sounds, while every melee weapon makes sickening thuds. Even some of the sharper, pointier weapons like the machete or the axe. With the help of silencers, you can dampen sounds, but keep in mind aiming and deciding when and who to shoot are just as important. This is a really important survival tip, because you only have a really limited supply, and you may not find enough during your travels to restock fully when you hit your next enemy territory. You may find aiming difficult even when upgrading stability and aiming skills, so make your shot count while you're not backing yourself into a corner or getting flanked. So I honestly cannot 100% praise the game. It does have its faults, like I mentioned. One small issue that's really not that big of a deal is being the shake mechanic for your flashlight. I have no clue why this was implemented in the first place. This affects the gameplay in no way, or the story for that matter, and never sets off any game events or creates any tension at all. I feel they just added this to make use of the controller. It's an obsolete relic. I don't know why Naughty Dog you would focus on something like this. We have the DualSense coming up soon for the PS5, so let's focus on something with that. One of the biggest issues I have with the game is the story's length. When it comes to a movie, you don't want to be sitting there too long. Most people don't sit for 3+ hour movies. Even if they did, you know they're dying to get up from the seats once they realize that it should have ended 30 to 45 minutes ago. This is kind of how I felt during the second half of the game. I understand the character development is important, so when you end up playing as another perspective of the story, it was interesting at first. Unfortunately, the gameplay dragged on so much that it felt like fillers to extend the game when all you really needed to do was shorten the encounters and expand more on the side story. So with that being said, I found myself eventually rushing through each enemy encounter at some point just to get to the end of the game. Once I got to what I thought was the highest point of the game, it was not the ending. I thought it was the end of the game, only to find myself playing again for another 3 to 4 hours. At this point, I felt like the narrative was being shoved down my throat. They were forcing a lot more story than I wanted. While the final confrontation itself was really emotional and brutal, it was also really confusing, unbelievable, and it was very much unfinished. It should have ended 3 hours ago. So although I believe this is a huge red mark in the game, Naughty Dog has created an amazing experience that I truly recommend to everyone. They created a great, dark, emotional world that I really want more of. I sometimes think they should have left the first game alone. Now that the second one's out, I believe they should leave that one alone again. I hope they don't make this franchise as nothing but a cash grab, rather than an artistic storytelling of humanity's struggles during this infection. With The Last of Us show coming to HBO someday, I hope they continue to give us the same quality that they did on the first game. Buy this game, know what to expect, and you will still enjoy yourself. Thank you guys so much for listening. Give us a like and subscribe to help grow the show and to see the latest game reviews, cocktails, and podcasts. Check out our Instagram at The Drunken Guardian, and we have a Twitter at A Drunk Guardian. Our website gives you lots of cocktails, bar, and restaurant info if you're more interested in industry as well. Visit that at thedrunkenguardian.com.